Ya, o le fionga ia whaalava au Nanai Jeremiah Tauamiti. Ya, tonu ele o toi pose lilo i le ngā luenga fo epi o na whitai tungai o ia. Ja, maar o ia o se winning director, before o ia o se writer, was too stellar. Ja, maar o lona fatu antoa, ia o tala anga, ia po tala mai le antu Pasifika. Na amatala na ngalue, ia o ia o se puenta. Muli ane, ia wa vea o ia matanganta e fatung tunuina me ia o anta pue. E pe o le iai ia polkala me wa whakoina o le Pacific Beat Streets, o le IMTV. Tangata Pasifika le au dantu le yasto na taitasi o le kofao rau o le Target o le Fresh ia le tele o isi polokalame o lo mawhai o mai mo ia le dantu o turu uilunga fo i o le TV tasi antu ai fo i ma le TV lua tele nisi polo keti na ngā lue whaatasi ai ia ma le New Zealand Film Commission o le tasi o polo keti sa whaapelea o ngalue o ia. Ja, ua whaingo ino le Garden City Nights e lona soifua po lona o langa tupu ai e le vaintau leo le awhiwe sa lau iwa sus fulu a awhiwe sa lau iwa fulu e le a ai o kalai estete o lana documentary mua ja, pe na tuwhansia lea e nisi o tangata i longa o le Pasifika e le tuwhansia meni o antatifanga lea fo ina whaatupeina e le New Zealand Film Commission ua whaingo ina o le For My Father's Kingdom. Ja, o le la sa va beona ia fantontuina foi. Ia le foi anta. O le anta lena lautongia. I se tasi o launga tongi. I le tausanga e lua festival maleiva i le tunu o Siamani. Wa whaingo ina le o le Berlinale Film Festival. Ja, o le fofota mai atu le tu whaansinga o se tasi foi o Polokalame Pasifika wa whaingoina o le Comedy Central, ja, o le Serious le wa whaingoina o le SIS, ja, ma o le teimi nei, o lo o ia tu whaantasia foi se tasi o Polokalame, ja, wa ngā lulu e whaantasia i manisi foi longa, ja, i le tūlanga leo anta le Pasifika. Le fionga ia whaalava au, ja, e fio maile le fio anga o whale la tai, whaalava au po le fionga fo iana nai. Fio langa ngai le nei fia fia whaantala whatu, ja, ma lole soifua ma le langi e mama, ja, fio mai ma tala mai au, ja, o a mai le lau mua i kalai stete le nei fo i vaenga o le fiafi.
Yeah, well, malo love soifua. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people know you out there. Do they know you by Jeremiah or Nanai or Falava or all of the above?
It's a mixture of all of the above, but yeah, Jeremiah or Jerry is fine by me. Thank you.
Yeah, Malova. So you've been working in the industry for a number of years, I believe.
Yeah, probably going on almost 15, maybe even 20 years now, and started off as a camera operator, and then the goal was always to be a director. I think we're over the fear pule whainga, fear ngako. So no, I just love directing and love writing as well. So it was a gamble to ask if I could direct some stories in the past, but I think, sometimes, ka Pasifika, Mesi Samoa, I think sometimes it confused le fa mau lalo ma le confidence.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay to ask for, can I have the opportunity to direct, and luckily I had a boss who gave me the opportunity, and he really liked my work. So I've been directing now for about probably about 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So from filming or operating a camera, pole puenta, ia lua kwa sifi ro o ele o sifi foi lele ko kongoleaka a o ele sifi mai ko el mele pu ele act.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, working with the Pacific, with Pacific Stories, ilongo lue tanto tala ia o le Pacific. E ei se senga o le whaatunutunuina e le tangata Pasifika o ata o le Pasifika. Ma le whaatunutunuina lea e se tangata pālangi po o se tangata mai sisi atunu. Ilo o ea silafi.
Oh, that's a good question. I think the biggest thing for me when I work with Pacifica is they understand, especially if it's, they understand how we act and how we feel. So, for example, the rugby players that I interviewed,
Yeah,
we're used to them being interviewed by others, by Palangis mainly.
yeah,
So you said guard, it be a guard for their stories,
yeah.
because I think a little bit of them may not trust the reporter
Mm.
or the crew and are unsure of what they can share. But because they understand and they saw, like my cameraman or the Samoa, his name is Arthur Rasmussen. He's a Samoan, he's been doing it for a long time. Our sound operator, for the most part, or the Samoa, Will Voigt,
Mm.
from the Voigt family. So when these boys saw us, if they were relaxed for there was the trust straight away.
Māori.
And so because that trust was there, and they know that, yeah, in Masangi local, they can talk about local things like that. In Masangi Fuinga, love, money that we have to, we pay our bills. So they weren't afraid to talk about those sorts of things. And so there was a trust that was there straight away with the boys.
Mm.
And we had the producer of the film, one of the producers, Gregor Paul. He's been a rugby journalist for over 30 years. And he said, he's never, ever, ever seen players open up like this before. And it was a real blessing to hear that from him. We sort of figured out, we're on the right track here.
Mm.
So yeah, I think just that thing of just being Pacifica, just being Samoan, just being true to our values, that was really helpful.
So, how does it make you feel as a Pacifica proud director to be part of this great film? Later on, we're going to talk about the film, but how does that make you feel?
Yeah, tumul fatay, like this is about a lot of prayers to get here, but I feel very grateful and very humble, because the boys, they really put their heart on the line, and we're not used to seeing these boys open up and shed tears and laugh like this, like we only get to see them for 5 minutes after a rugby game, longer, and then you hear the standard. Well, at the end of the day, the boys, this and that, but these boys were able to talk about things that were very, very dear to them. And now it's getting harder and harder to talk about things like your faith, your belief in God. Those things now is, if people look down for inga kangaka, if people limba for inga, tautala for inga I mea ka uia kako. Faith, and people don't understand about our struggles.
Māori.
So what we really wanted to do was celebrate who we are and have no shame in our beliefs, and playing for the simple things like playing for our families, that actually means a lot to us.
Malo sa noa whalava au lono wingala o le anta lea wanta ua o le family, faith and footy. Le anda tau ngā lulu e whatasi. O lea se umina tau ngā lulu e tu whatasi le tanto wanta lea pe tu sa o le tasi ma le awhai tula.
Yeah, so I think in February, that's when we really started the big work. So about 6 months to make this film. Normally, about 90 minutes, hour and a half film. It can take about a year. And so, some documentaries can take 2 or 3 years. So we did this very fast. There was a bit of pressure. We had to finish the film to play in time before the World Cup. So around about 6 months. And so we traveled to Ingalangi, Ireland, Fiki, Tonga, Samoa. In Samoa and Fiji, I couldn't travel to those places because we just didn't have enough time and money. So the boys in Samoa the Sleeping Giant films led
Yep.
by Twain Laumua, and then in Fiji it was Baka Alfredi. So those guys did the filming for us, and I'm very grateful to those guys. And I did the interviews over Zoom, and those guys took care of all the camera work.
Man. And when you heard their stories for the first time, how did it make you feel as a Pacifica?
Yeah, very proud, but very whangohua too. You know, those boys have been through a lot, and I think their story deserves to be told. And for myself, you get a little bit ika. You know, I was a little bit angry that they had to go through this discrimination. And you know, when you feel your brothers and sisters as islanders, you want to always stand up for them. And I knew I wanted to be part of this film to help those guys, but also too, you know, I grew up watching rugby. I love the All Blacks. I love Manu Samoa. You know, if any of the island teams play the big nations, I will always go for them. So I also wanted to celebrate that they were amazing All Blacks, that they're amazing when they play for Engalangi. They're amazing when they play for Ireland. You know, Pandiaki, the amazing things he's doing. So, Usa Bel New Zealand, Bel Samoa, Bel Australia. You know, I'll always cheer for our players.
Lily, so let's talk about the film coming up on Sunday here in New Zealand. It'll be screening on the which channel, Falava?
Yeah, so it'll play on TV1 at 8:30 p.m. on a Sunday, the Sunday night, and it's a difficult time to get any of your projects at that time slot. It's known as the prime time slot. This is one of the first times ever that they've even given a Pacific Island project to play at that time. So, you know, hopefully our people get in there and watch it. If they do, and we rate well, then they'll give us more opportunities to play at that time slot. And so I hope everyone gets to tune in if they can and watch it and spread the news.
Now, we've got a few viewers from Australia. Can they watch it as well?
Yeah, I think eventually, so it will go on TVNZ on demand, so the streaming platform. So that'll go on immediately after it airs.
So round about 9:30, 10-ish New Zealand time?
About 10 o'clock. About 10 o'clock New Zealand time. That's right. Yeah.
Now, what's the final message for our listeners? O le alefe au taua le momoli mai tono le tanto wanta lea mo ainga o le whaafonga mai le nei vaenga le whiawhi. It really doesn't matter if you're Samoan, Tongan, or Fijian, or from any Pacific island. What's the message?
Yeah, I think the message is to get in behind and celebrate our players. You know, whether they play for Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, but also if they play for the All Blacks, they play for England, it doesn't matter. These boys are our sons, you know, cousins. But also too, we interview Senen Naupu, who's actually captained Ireland. So it's about bringing awareness as well to the women's game. So it doesn't matter who our people play for. You know, for us, it's about celebrating who they are, hence who we are, and just taking pride in supporting those guys and believing that what we were brought up on, the cultures that are true to us, and the cultures that are the values that are important to the boys, that's worth celebrating.
Now, before we wrap it up this evening, I know you're in Christchurch, you're visiting your family. Would you like to say hello and say good night to your folks that are listening in and watching this evening?
Yeah, just a big hello to the whole Nemusu Tauamiti family here in Christchurch, and everywhere around the world. You know, just very grateful to everyone who can support this program, and I hope they enjoy it. And it's all for our people. And God bless.
On behalf of the crew and management here at Radio Samoa, we appreciate your time, we appreciate your effort, and all the best for the film coming up this Sunday. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be enjoying it. And thank you for coming on the show this evening.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for your work that you do, brother.
Yeah. Fa taiman wi tele ya le nei vai ngole fiaf